Hi. So it's been 2 months, which means I have a lot to update you on, and I have to figure out how to, include the old stuff that isn't as much in my immediate mind, and also include the stuff that's going on right now. Um, Yesterday it didn't get above 8 degrees, um, which is irregular. It's not like that all the time, but I woke up and it was 3 degrees outside, and I had to go to work, and I was like, okay. So I wore like uh 3 layers everywhere, like pants, socks, clothes, and then a snow jacket over it. Um, and I was okay. I had like 2 inches showing around my eyes for me to look at the ground. It's like nuts though. It's very different. And over the last 2 months, it snowed a couple times, which is really cool for me to see. And in the city, it's nice because uh, it gets plowed pretty easily, or like people shovel the sidewalk, so I don't really have to deal with it as much, and I just get to look at it and kind of walk slowly in patches where there isn't snow that's been plowed. So it's like super different than California, and it gets to the point now where if it's in the high 20s, I'm like, oh sweet, it's so warm, or if it's in the high 30s, I'm like, it's like I don't even think about weather. Whereas a few months ago that would not have been the case at all. My brother came and visited in December for a week, and it was really fantastic to see him. And it snowed while he was here, and we were like gallivanting in Central Park in the snow, which was like the best snow experience I've had. Yeah, it was fantastic having him here. He's like really coming into his own, growing into he's like thinking for himself, figuring out his strengths and what he likes, and so it's really cool to see. And I always feel like we fit well together. But it was like one of the best trips we've had, because we're like just both becoming our own people. And the day he left, he had his flight. I walked him to the train at like 4:30 a.m. so we could catch a morning flight. And that whole day, I was like really sad that he wasn't here. I just like remind myself how to function as an individual person and not as part of a pair. But while he was here, we got to see a lot of family, which was great. We saw like 2 different groups of family on my dad's side, and we got to see 2 different groups of family on my mom's side. And on the Saturday night he was here, we got dinner with like all of my mom's sisters and our cousins through that are around the city or Long Island. So it was like really cool that he got to reconnect with family like that, and just to have everyone in one, or a lot of people in one place. It's almost impossible to get everyone in one place. And Thanksgiving I also spent with family on Long Island, and that was really cool. That I get to be at the family events like that for holidays, and that I get to spend my holiday there. And it's like really feels like a vacation, which is nice. And I recognize that I'm lucky that most people, it's like after college, like, do I want to move far away because I'll be leaving all this family? And it's like for me, I could move far away and enter into an area with a lot of family. Let's see, what else is new? Um, I was talking to this guy um, for like a lot of the last month or two. We started talking on OkCupid. His name was Jarrell, and I realized, and we hung out a few times, and it was really nice, and we were really compatible. But I realized that I'm like not at all in the point where I feel like I can commit to a relationship, either with my time, which is like so devoted, like still working, and then when I'm not working, like either getting laundry done or grocery shopping and stuff, or hang out with my housemates or hang out by myself. Like I realize how fiercely I care about being independent. Um and just like being in a relationship for that kind of like emotional commitment and vulnerability and stuff. I'm like not ready for yet. So then I'm gonna continue, having a little things be a little bit more casual with people. Which is could be frowned upon, but it's like definitely what's working for me right now, is not having to commit to any one person to be with. So that was like an interesting thing to figure out about myself. Um, and I was honest with him the whole time, and so when it got to this point, because I had been saying like I think I want to try, but I'm not sure I can do that. And so I got to the point and it's like, yeah, I don't think I can do it. And so hopefully he's okay. And he's nice for like letting me figure it out. Um, so that was like a good part of the last 2 months. What else? It's interesting because with work, I'm still at the Shake Shack, and I'm reaching. Well, in December I had like. Oh, the other thing in December is that so Jeremy visited at the beginning, and then one of my roommates from freshman year, May, came and visited for the few days around Christmas because she's currently living with her parents in Maryland, so it's only like a 4-hour bus ride up. So it was really fantastic to have her here and to spend Christmas with her. We went and, my family's tradition has always been to see a movie and eat Chinese food on Christmas because those are the only things that are open and because we don't celebrate it. Um, and so it's like and I was like, May, it looks like 75% of the people at theater are Jewish. um, but we went and saw Frozen, and I was so impressed with it. I really thought it was fantastic. I thought they were a little too skinny, but other than that, like I was so impressed with the gender roles. So I really commend Disney for it. And we went and ate Chinese food in Chinatown, which was really fun. And like in the 2 days before that, we had like walked the Brooklyn Bridge, went to Central Park, went to the MoMA Museum, and so like it was nice, like this mini vacation too. So um, yeah, it was really fun, and it was different than my other visitors because she can potentially like hop by for a weekend, like sometime at the end of this month or sometime in March, and like as opposed to having like 5 or 6 days to like cram everything in that I could possibly want to do because who knows when the next time someone will be in New York is. So it was nice in that way. But it's interesting to have reached this point where like December was really exciting with my brother visiting and then May visiting and just having it be the holidays in general. New York is like decked out with like everything Christmas for all of December. Like any store you go into, it's Christmas carols, and like it really feels more like a secular holiday than a religious holiday because it's like more like a national thing than a thing something that has to do with Christianity, even though they're very linked, obviously. So I was like celebrating that. We like Christmas carols. We got a little Christmas tree, even though 3 out of the 4 of us are Jewish. I put like a tinfoil Jewish star on top, this big thing. Um, but it's interesting because I was like definitely looking forward to hitting the new year, like celebrating New Year's with my housemates, and then kind of having like all of January to like not have huge visitors, not have like exciting holidays, just have it be like settled and simple and like taking a breath. Um, and I'm still looking forward to that for this month, but one of the things that has really rapidly come up in it for me is like, okay, like I like working at Shake Shack still, but it's not challenging for me anymore. And I like the people who work there, but it's definitely become more of just a job, which I wanted to definitely stick with it long enough to feel that, because I think that's like an important part of what I'm trying to go through is not like having any rosy idealistic ideas about work post college, but I'm reaching this point where it's like I'm like really aware of the fact that I right now I'm holding on to this belief that what I learned about in college and what I consider important and the ideas that I want to be able to involve in my work, um, I'm believing that I can find something that does that. But I have no concrete evidence for the fact that I'll get somewhere that I can really successfully pursue that as a career. And obviously, if I pursue it, I think that it's likely that I can make it happen because now I have a bachelor's degree and I can be competent at explaining my thoughts and stuff like that. And I mean like about sex ed or sexuality or race or immigration politics or whatever. And like I don't even know necessarily that it's what I want to do, but it's like interesting to be reaching this point where it's like, wow, in college it was never questioned that this was something that was worth thinking about, but now out in the real world, there's not this paved path where I'm allowed to like make a life out of it in the same way that in college I could really make my life out of that. And and I think I definitely like am on a more rocky foundation where it's like, okay, Cynthia, like if you want to spend the time, devote the time to that, you have to make time for it. Like no one's gonna make time for it for you. Like if you want to learn languages, like you have to make time for it. And it takes some self motivation to not fall into this routine of like, okay, I'm working at a burger place. Like it takes me to I have to physically remind myself or like explicitly remind myself that the things I care about thinking about are important because no one's around me telling me that they're important, you know. Um, so it's an interesting like post grad phenomenon that I think I'm probably not alone in. So I'm like thinking about that, exploring it, and it's good though because I have all of January just settled like this, and I think these thoughts will be like kind of tumbling in my head. But February, I'm coming to visit California, so for 3 weeks. So I'll try to see as many people as I can. And it'll be a good like getting through January and then having 3 weeks vacation, seeing all my roots, and figuring out where to go from there after. So that's been a not so quick update. I hope you're all doing well. I really value, my housemates say I talk on the phone more than anyone they know. I really value keeping in touch. So if at all you want to contact me, please hit me up. And I'll give you another update sometime in the next month or 2 or 3. Okay, much love.